Big exciting news to start your early morning as all eyes are on the president to do executive order. Just less than 7 days away from the presidential election, and could the president still pull off a win? A new series of reports today says he can. But all eyes are on what could happen after election night. With uncertainty about the presidential elections, uncertainty about the Senate, uncertainty about whether Nancy Pelosi will change her hairstyle. Oh wait, no, that one's sort of certain. It'll probably be the same. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm here. You're here. The corn is not here. Have you heard? Where are you, Mr. Corn? I appreciate you for tuning in for Early Mornings LALATE, that fun, lighthearted brother of the dark, dirty, down and trodden other recordings that you might see in a given day. We try to keep it light. We try to keep it eerie to keep you on your feet, financially stable and focused as we go through this pandemic and it rages on. We're going to rage through it and get to the other line ahead of it and do very well. So thank you for tuning in on a Wednesday morning. Hope you're good and ready for the new day. The bacon is bacon. The bacon is bacon. The bacon is bacon. That sounds like that dog commercial, doesn't it? The toast is toast and the butter is butter. And I'm here, you're here, and I really appreciate you for waking up this morning with me. This is the top of the hour broadcast. Another broadcast is at the bottom of the hour at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to the front channel, subscribe if you've not already, because boy, it is great to have you with me on a great morning. We're going to make it good, and we're going to be having a real good, exciting day to start with. Also, like this video. There is just going to be a lot of fun today. If you're new to this channel and you're new to Early Mornings LALATE, welcome, because this is an enhanced viewing experience. It features a live, interactive premiere. It's called an instant premiere, and as an instant premiere, on the right of this video you'll see a live chat. You can live chat, you can super chat, you can chat with your Purple Power buddies. It's a great way to start the new morning. We're just all light and airy, and we haven't looked out to see, oh god, it's so damn cold outside. We're still inside, we're all cuddling and enjoying our cup of coffee, and part of the Purple Power family, which is the followers of this channel. I call them Purple Power. So thank you for joining and making this a really delighted early morning broadcast. Coming up, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start the new morning is all eyes are on the president for executive order. He has about 7 days away. Stock market is very jittery. Stock market is really unhappy about a lot of things and will remain unhappy all the way until potentially the night after election night. What's going on? Let me go over this right now. Stock market sees uncertainty for a lot of things. The presidential race, the Senate race, your stimulus, COVID-19 cases and lockdowns across the country, and a contested race for both president and Senate, and also runoffs. There is literally all those permutations and more that we have to guess about, and guess what? We're not going to guess about them. We're not going to guess what's going to happen in the Senate, because the Senate is too hard to call. There's too many races that are uncertain. There are too many races, like for example in Alaska, where they can't even poll the voters ahead of time because the terrain is too difficult, and one of the candidates that's vying for the office is an independent, so they can't even track the polling. So they have no idea what's happening there. They're calling it, unable to predict. Then there are the other races that are too close, traditionally just close, and they can't predict them. And then there's races that they're just really confused about because they have a margin of victory they have to win by, otherwise there's a runoff. All this impacts your second stimulus. All this impacts your second stimulus package. All this impacts your second stimulus check, your second stimulus FPUC, your second stimulus hazard pay. It all impacts that because we really don't know what to expect the night after election night. I got to tell you right now that the night after election night, don't jump in the comments or watch anyone jump in the comments that says, oh, he or she won and hence this. It's not going to be that simple. I'm just preparing you right now. It's Wednesday and I'm preparing you for over the next week. It's literally not going to be that easy. He won, and hence it's this situation. I can't tell you. I can specifically tell you if this person wins, I don't know what's going to happen if that person wins. If there's just too much at stake. And so Wall Street's very jittery, and the fact that Wall Street's jittery, it impacts your stimulus. Ultimately, the president looks at Wall Street. If Wall Street's volatile, which is expected to be very volatile over the next 7 days, it is expected to be absolutely incredibly volatile because of stimulus, because of uncertainty about the elections, because of contested elections, which could go on for a very long time. And because of COVID-19 cases, you could see this uncertainty about whether you get stimulus right away or not. Yesterday, on Tuesday, the president said, right after the election, I'm sending out some good stimulus with Nancy and Steve. Yeah, sure. Just not going to happen. We just really don't know what's going to happen the day after the election. But as we start the new day, the Purple Power, the followers of this channel are absolutely teed up and ready to go because we're pushing right now. What we're doing right now, the Purple Power, is we're starting the narrative. We're pushing the narrative. We're getting the grassroots efforts out there. We're saying, hey, we're owed a lot of money. And when you get your act together, you people in Congress and you, Mr. President, when you get your act together and you figure out who won, guess what? We're here and we're about to tell you how much we're owed. Don't you love that? It's like they can't figure out who won. Okay, well, we got a bill for you. We're about to hand a bill to you. And that's what we're doing. We are not going to wait after election night and say, oh my God, this person won. What do I do now and how much money I owe? No. We, as the followers of the channel, the Purple Power followers, and myself, Mr. Purple Power himself, we are saying no. Despite whoever wins, this is how much money you owe us. And guess what? We're not going to let you off on it. We're not going to let you off on it. We've been conned too many times before, predates this channel. Now that this channel exists, now that the Purple Power family exists, we're not going to be played off again. The latest attempt to play you off is not to give you FPUC for the month of August. Cute, isn't that? We're just going to do retroactive back to September. Oh, what happened to August? Don't ask about August. They're trying to get away with giving you hazard pay, ever. They're trying to get away with giving you a stimulus check for April, and then every single month since then. They're trying to get away with giving you stimulus checks as soon as the pandemic roars on in the next few months. And more. And now Facebook's having a problem with all of them. It's just as if we aren't having enough problems with them. Facebook's having a new problem with them. Political advertisements are having real troubles with Facebook, and Facebook's having problems with political advertisements. The reason is that Facebook announced last month that it would not accept new political ads the week before the November 3rd election, starting on Tuesday, October 27th, yesterday. Advertisers were able to submit and run new ads until midnight Pacific time on Monday, and are allowed to run those ads leading up to the election as long as they at least receive one impression before the deadline. What does that mean? So basically, if you're running for president, you can submit an advertisement for Facebook to run the last week before the election. If you submit it ahead of time, before yesterday, and it gets one view, which is that's only one person, and that's pretty easy to get. So what Trump's campaign did was, okay, you ready for a little morning laugh? He inserted a preloaded ad that says, "Still your president." Yeah, it's a post-election night ad that says he won. He preloaded it on Monday, and it appeared, someone caught it. It appeared in the database of Facebook ads as saying, hey, it doesn't say, hey, elect me. It says, hey, I won. Congratulations, I just won. Won what? So he preloaded the ad, got someone in his office to get one view of it, and it now says he won. Well, what did Facebook say about it? Well, apparently other advertisers were complaining about the issue. And apparently that ad may have been removed by the time of this recording. We're in the closing days of the most important part of the election in our nation's history, so it's disturbing to our clients that they've already approved and running ads and that suddenly shut off without warning oversight, says managing director of political company DS political. So other advertisers are complaining that Facebook's cutting off people's ads right before the election. That's really cute. So you're running for an office, and then the last week before the election is a little bit important, just a little bit. And Facebook says, "Hey, we're taking off your ad." Excuse me. Yeah. So here we go again. The turning off of events is hardly surprising. Facebook and other large platforms have been pursuing a headline-grabbing, ill-conceived strategy of banning ads from political campaigns rather than focusing on the considerable resources on fighting the spread of false organic content. That's quite interesting. Even with accidental errors, an error like this could be a huge impact on our program. Facebook's director of marketing product management said, "We're investigating the issues of some ads being paused incorrectly and will address it appropriately." Interesting. As we focus on your stimulus check, have they been paused? Yeah, they've been paused too. What is Mitch McConnell saying about your stimulus checks? Nothing. What is Nancy Pelosi saying about your stimulus checks? Quiet. Have you noticed Nancy Pelosi has been really nicely quiet for a few days? It's refreshing. I gotta tell you. Tuesday went by and I don't think there was a single Nancy Pelosi interview of crushing the virus, science and children going hungry. There was none of that for 24 hours. It was so refreshing. I don't know why. I just loved it. Needless to say, I think that Nancy Pelosi wore out her adjectives and adverbs because broadcast news really had enough of it. As we focus for stimulus checks by executive order, the president has, the last final days before the election to do it. He needs to do it. The path to 270 to win the Electoral College is really just not clear, and that the president should really take this time and effort. As one viewer said in a comment on Monday or Tuesday, why doesn't the president just send out the $500 billion of CARES Act 1 money, and why doesn't Nancy allow him to do it, and why don't they just use that to bridge the difference between 1.8 and 2.2? Very simply, he has tweeted that he has asked to do it, Steve Mnuchin has asked to do it, and that ultimately Nancy Pelosi doesn't want it to be done. And to tell you the truth, as I've been reporting for a while, I don't think the president wants a law before election night, and I don't think Nancy Pelosi wants a law before election night, and I don't think Mitch McConnell wants a law before election night. One thing that I forgot to mention in last night's McConnell versus Trump video, which is categorically very important, is, in my opinion, I now believe that Mitch McConnell did not want to do a stimulus law before election night, because he was betting on big GOP Senate donations to come in the final hours of the election, before the final days before election night, and that he didn't want those big donors to look like he had given away the kitchen sink to Nancy Pelosi. That's my opinion. And why is it? What is it based upon? Because Mitch McConnell got a record sum amount of money from big, rich GOP donors for the Senate races in the last 2 weeks before the election. I think it was 15 million or 500 million. It was just an enormous amount of money. It dwarfed anything the Democrats had. The Democrats have ran out of money for the Senate races. And what Mitch did with Judge Barrett, and what Mitch did with keeping away from Nancy Pelosi and keeping her silent and not giving her the kitchen sink, may have been the reason why he got these big donations. Yeah, it always comes back to rich people, doesn't it? Mitch does things for rich people. Mitch uses rich people, get reelected, and Mitch does bills for rich people, PPP and liability insurance. It's sort of, yeah. Let me go over some of the incredible comments and questions from yesterday's recording and during this video. These were the ones on the channel as opposed to the chat. Shane, Trump is sending us into a recession if he doesn't send out executive order. Oh no, I think we're in a depression already. I think we're in a stagflation depression. I don't think we're in a recession. I think it's far worse. Dave Hand, the rest of the world's laughing in the United States. Connie, their trickery, deceit, and so-called cleverness won't work. Halloween is Saturday. We need our long overdue treats now. This political system will be demolished simply because of how it's conducted itself. I love that comment. That's really good. Charles Sensing, there's too many people involved with us getting any kind of stimulus. Kelly Novak, they haven't given enough stimulus. That's why we're going in the toilet. That's very well said. Jerome Powell said the same thing. You're supposed to give about 33% of your GDP, your national gross national product of your country, to your people. And we've given about 15%, and that was months ago. Marlene, I don't think any of them should get a paycheck. Richard Carnes, if Congress doesn't get their heads out of their sand, we're going to have a lot of bankruptcy and foreclosures. You've already have had a lot, but you're going to have a lot more. And he says it won't be anything like what we've seen since the 1930s. I co-sign that statement. Richard Carnes, great remark. Vicki Hamilton, Congress won't pay us anything. They don't care about us, everyday citizens. Untrue. Negative comments are not allowed here. Antonio Perez, hey, go heavy, go home. The people demand stimulus. LA, blessings to all, in God we trust. Heart, heart, heart. I love you. Thank you, Antonio Perez. Teresa North, we need stimulus unemployment now. We do. Heart, heart, heart. Catherine Elliott, why can't the Federal Reserve send out stimulus since Congress can't get it together? Ooh, that's a great question from Catherine Elliott. I've been deeply critical of Jerome Powell. I have been covering Jerome Powell on this channel far before I've been covering stimulus and stimulus checks. And Jerome Powell, early on during the pandemic, was asked, what is the Federal Reserve doing? And so he said, I'm announcing the Main Street Lending Program. The Main Street Lending Program was announced so early on in this pandemic that it predates this channel. It was covered on LALATE, the news site, before it was even covered on this channel. Then when this channel was formulated, it was covered in the early videos of this channel. I did about 6 videos of it. It was about 7 days in a row I did videos of it. It was categorically a flop. Not the videos, the program, the Main Street Lending Program was a flop because no one wanted it. And ultimately, he had an enormous amount of money set aside in the Federal Reserve just for stimulus of American people. He never sent it out. He never used it. And then he has money for the Main Street Lending Program. Never sent out. No one wanted it. And so when asked in one congressional hearing, does the Federal Reserve need to get approval from Congress to send out stimulus or to apportion stimulus? He says, no, we have our own authority to get organized stimulus. And then the question is, why haven't you sent it out? Well, unresponsive answer. It's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. It's billions and billions of dollars. I have no idea. I'm not happy with Jerome Powell. James Sanis, Purple Power fighting for what we owe, stimulus. There's power and unity. There is. Ralph Miller. Why doesn't Congress not understand that stimulus money is the money of the citizens? I don't understand it. William Bond, Americans, we have 1 week to show if we're sheep or we are Purple Power. Lions, speak to Congress. Government with your voice. I love that. We don't have just 1 week, but I love that. If you have comments or questions to today's video, drop them in the comments below. Go to the front channel, subscribe if you've not. Boy, there's another video coming up in a few minutes at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at the bottom of this hour, so don't miss that video. Also, like this video. It's really helping the algorithm. Yesterday's morning's LALATE video, early morning's videos, all ranked number 1 and number 2. Keep it up. Keep it up. The algorithm loves you, and I love you, and the algorithm, and you hopefully love the algorithm. Something like that. Coming up is the continuation of early mornings LALATE at 6:30 a.m. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay at LA for more.